Today, he is being brought back to India just a little after 6 p.m. He'll land in Delhi is what we are given to understand. Now, Priyank was just sharing information with us that the NI officials are already headed to the Palam airport. Remember, he is already in India's custody. Just a couple more hours before he officially is in NI's custody, he is officially placed under arrest. Meanwhile, we are joined by Captain Alok Bansal, Director, India Foundation, Achal Malhotra, former diplomat, and Ajay Bagga, 26/11 survivor. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me first go across to Mr. Bagga. Mr. Bagga, as you hear about these developments, does it bring back painful memories?
Yeah, absolutely. My wife and I were at the Taj with a visiting member of European Parliament, a German lady. And in fact, we had a very close shave as a country because nearly 60 members of European Parliament were supposed to stay in the Taj. Fortunately, when they landed, they wanted to see Bollywood and they were taken to Juhu. And our friend came directly for dinner. So we sat down for dinner at 9:30, 9:35 the firing started. And as I peeped out of the restaurant door, I saw firing into the Golden Dragon. We were at the Indian restaurant, Masala Craft. So both sides of us in Shamiana and Golden Dragon, people were killed. Everybody in the lobby was killed. I saw people getting killed. And then we ran inside the kitchen. We barricaded the door of the restaurant. And we were there for 13 hours in the chambers. The hotel staff very valiantly took us across from the old Taj to the new Taj building and to the chambers. And unfortunately, a politician gave an interview to the media saying that 200 very senior CEOs are stuck. And then when NST released the phone calls, the handler there was saying, Bharat ka wazir Taj hotel ke chambers mein hai, chambers mein jao. So then they came to the chambers kitchen and started firing and 200 of us were there. And we got out next day at 10 o'clock when the NSG came.
Well, these definitely are painful memories of witnessing that massacre. Stay on with us, Mr. Bagga. I want to quickly also go across to Achal Malhotra. Achal Malhotra, it's been a relentless chase, isn't it? The extradition process, the request picked up pace in 2019. And this is 2025 when that actually has culminated. Tahawwur Rana being brought back to India to face the Indian law that he tried to evade for a very long time, using every trick in the book, even playing the minority card, saying that the jails in India are not safe for him, that is going to be tortured. But all those attempts were shot down by the US courts.
Indeed, I think, if I'm not wrong, the process started way back in the year 2009. And it is quite unfortunate that the extradition processes are very cumbersome. And this is, a very serious a crime of very serious nature, terrorist activity. But even otherwise, if you see, we have so many economic fugitives who have, fled India after defaulting on loans, etc., etc. And we have not been able to get them back because the host countries' laws are so cumbersome, and there are so many lacunas and loopholes. So in short, in most cases, we find that the extradition process is very long and very painful. And you need a certain, if there is a positive political environment that sometimes helps, which I think is the case now, because both India and the United States are on the same page as far as terrorism is concerned. And in this particular case, of course, in this 26/11, Americans were also hurt. I mean, their nationals were also killed, and so were of Israelis and many other foreigners. So it's again of a different nature. So I think it has been painfully slow, but at the end of the day, this is at least one case where we can say that it's not a case of justice delayed and justice denied, because now justice will be given. And we will have many other aspects that will help us by Rana being
Absolutely.
in our
Yes,
custody.
because the interrogation is not
Yeah,
just limited to Tahawwur Rana's role,
exactly.
because it will be about Pakistan's role, about the individuals that he was in touch with. According to the NI investigation, he was
I
in
think
link
both
between
within and
the
outside the
Lashkar-e-Taiba
country.
terrorists, the ISI
Within the country
handlers.
and also outside the country.
Yes,
Within the
yes,
country, don't
absolutely.
forget. Because the facilitators were managed, there must have been, it can't be without inside support. So
Yes.
it would give us it's not just
Well,
getting him.
absolutely. If Tahawwur Rana managed to conduct Reiki, if he managed to get a visa for David Headley, help him
Yeah,
set up office in Mumbai, then he definitely was getting some sort of a logistical help, perhaps a sleeper cell or something. Maybe there'll be more
exactly.
information tumbling out during his interrogation about all of that. Like you said, connections outside the country and connections within the country as well. Before I go across to Captain Bansal, let's not forget about all those who laid down their lives that night to catch Ajmal Kasab alive. One of them is retired police officer Hemant Baudhankar, who along with his team that day managed to catch Ajmal Kasab. And he remembers, in fact, the bravado of Tukaram Omle. He remembers how Tukaram Omle held the barrel of Ajmal Kasab's gun while he was firing indiscriminately. Listen in.
At around 9:30, I was having night duty, and my senior inspector, Mr. Nagappa Mali, called me in his chamber and instructed me and informed me that gun firing has taken place at Trident, Taj, and CST. You just go at Girgaon Chopati and deploy the Nakabandi. Around 12:30, that vehicle reached place away. 50 feet away from where we are doing the Nakabandi. So we instructed, but they have not followed our instructions. The driver, Abu Ismail, was driving the car and he rushed that vehicle very fastly towards us, and he was trying to escape from that place by taking U-turn towards the same place where he headed towards Girgaon Chopati. But in that process, he could not take proper U-turn, and the car was dented at speed divider where I was standing, and it was the 4 feet distance between them and me. The bonnet of the Skoda was the only distance.
Since we're speaking of punishment, we have been speaking to multiple victims and survivors who have been stating that how Rana should also face trials of capital punishment, just like in the line of Kasab. Do you also feel that this is a possibility that Rana could face?
Of course, it is every Indian's wish to punish each and last accused of the 26/11 terror attack.
Let's go across to Captain Bansal. Well, like we just heard, the previous speaker speak about how, this has been a painful process as well, a lengthy one, after 16 years almost. Now, Tahawwur Rana being brought in India to face consequences for his acts, to face the Indian law. At the same time, do you see this as a diplomatic victory for India? Sir, can you unmute yourself? We're not able to hear you.
This is a big diplomatic victory because you need to understand that we succeeded in getting Mr. Tahawwur Rana from United States, who is a Canadian citizen, and he was running a business both in US as well as in Canada. So it shows India's growing stature and our diplomatic skills, which helped India to get this chap out, because he tried every trick under the in the book to stay away. He in fact claimed that he's medically unwell. He claimed that Indian jails he's going to be tortured, he'll not be safe. Everything that he tried. And you need to understand, he's a doctor. He's been in Pakistan Army. So it was everything that he tried. But despite that, we managed to get him. And that shows both greatness of India's diplomatic skills as well as growing stature of India in Committee of Nations. Probably at a different time or different leadership, we may not have succeeded in getting him to India.
I want to quickly ask Mr. Baga, is this, a step closer towards closure? Does this give you a sense of closure?
Yeah, Swati, I think over the last 16 years, every time I would have a board meeting, I knew I was a member of chambers. I would do my board meetings there. The Argentina president was there. My wife and I went and met him. He was at the memorial there. So those memories come through. We knew all the staff. 7 chefs died, and some of them we knew personally. We used to dine there very often. So in our commercial capital of India, for them to come and attack like this, it was a very insidious move. These boys who came, these 10 brainwashed, uneducated boys are not to be held fully responsible. It's the ISI handlers, and even this guy Rana, I will not call him Mr. Rana, he's a terrorist Rana. He's, on purpose, they retire these services guys and plant them as sleeper cells across Europe, across US, Canada. He's one of them. And FBI has hours and hours of his conversation with Headley. Headley became an approver to save his skin. This guy, there is enough documentation, and we are very grateful to Supreme Court of US Justice Roberts himself on 4th April passed the order that throw him out. President Trump, when Prime Minister Modi was there in February, he said, I'm sending you this scum. You deal with this evil man. He called him an evil man. These are very evil men who need to be taken out of society. You cannot reform them. So we need to reach the ISI handlers. We need to reach the Hafiz Saeed kind of people who are actually the core of this terrorist cell.
Like I said, this interrogation, this investigation is not just going to be limited to Tahawwur Rana and his role, but it is more about the larger picture here, the involvement of Pakistan, who all were involved. And like you said, Pakistan is now making a failed attempt to try to distance itself from Tahawwur Rana, to try to show the world that they have nothing to do with Tahawwur Rana, while in reality, and the world knows, Pakistan has been providing a safe haven to all these terrorists that help them make a blueprint of such dastardly attacks. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us on the broadcast.